Shout to me. I think when I was younger, my grandma took a lot of care with me. So I think just through that we bonded a lot, and I was the firstborn child, so I just think she had a lot of love for me and I had a lot of love for her as well. I am the favourite, but don't tell my siblings. So my grandma's really supportive of me, and she has raised me, and she takes care of my other siblings as well. My mum lives in Dubai. She's a teacher in Dubai, and my father's in jail.
So, one thing is that you follow the rules.
Get a lecture.
Yep.
Me and my siblings moved back to Australia because the education was better here, and my grandma accepted us with open arms.
Jamil is the oldest one out of the four. He came to me when he was 9 years old. We connected very closely to each other. She likes everything to be fed. And she's a little sport one. Jamil is a child which shows his feeling. He's very emotional. He listens to other people's problems and concern and trying to help them as well. And this seems to be what Jamil and I have a close connection with this. We share.
While I was growing up, I had a lot of different interests compared to a lot of my friends who were girls. And so I guess once high school started, the uniform that you had to wear, which was a dress, I guess that's when I knew that I just started to feel really uncomfortable having to wear that. So there was one night where I was just really worked up, and I'd been trying to figure out things by myself. I couldn't really get myself to sleep. Whenever that's happening, I usually jump in bed with my grandma. So I went to her room and said that I was really upset. I didn't really know what to say, but she sort of calmed me down and told me, you know, that it was okay, and I sort of just tried to explain to her how I was feeling.
He said to me, I don't want to be a girl anymore. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, I feel different. I said, what do you mean by feeling different? I don't understand. And he said, I want to be a boy. I said, oh. I said, oh, okay. Look, Jamil, I said, I don't understand this transgender problem you're having. I don't even know what that is. I said, I need to find out more.
She didn't fully understand what I was trying to say, as I didn't really understand either, but she was really supportive, and she just assured me that everything was okay, and she would help me figure out anything that was going on. I had no idea what being transgender meant or what it was. I don't think I'd met anyone that I knew, at least, who was transgender. I really had no knowledge of what I was feeling.
Here, I was so proud to be been taking a photo on that day. I don't know why, but it's a long time ago, darling.
We went to the GP and we told them what was going on and how I felt, and they wrote me a referral to see the Royal Children's Hospital. Once I went there, the doctors that I had were really friendly and really supportive and helped talk me through things that I didn't understand and things that my grandma also didn't understand, just because we'd never really been exposed to that sort of thing before.
My background is German. I'm actually from Cologne. Here I am 2 years old. This is the orphanage I grew up. I like to accept a person for whom they are. That's how I grew up in the orphanage. We had different kids who couldn't speak, people who couldn't walk, violent kids. I grew up with that. To me, I accepted for whom they were, and I was friend to everybody.
About halfway through year 7, I started to wear the boys' uniform to school. And the first day that I came to school in the boys' uniform, I was really nervous, although I was also excited at the same time. So I told a few of my friends if they could meet me at the front of the school and just walk in with me, just because I hadn't really announced to people at school that I was trans or anything like that. didn't want to have to sort of explain myself to anyone.
I said to Jamil, don't worry about anybody else. We do what we do, we change the uniform, we let the school know. He needs to be what he is, to be accepted.
I knew once I told my grandma and had her support that it wouldn't matter who else in my family I told, whether they accepted me or not, because my grandma was the most important person to me.
I liked the idea that he came out. He wanted me to support him, to be there for him in regards to the transition from a female to a male. My daughter sort of was confused. She said, I don't understand. But she accepted it more, and she does call him Jamil, where the father is not accepting it at all.
So I chose the name Jamil because both my younger brothers' names end in IL and they're Islamic names, which is what my mother wanted. So I made sure that I chose a name that would fit in with my siblings. It was kind of an awkward feeling at first, having to get used to people calling out a different name and remembering, oh yeah, that's my name now. But you know, it felt really good to know that people were accepting me and recognizing me as how I identified. When you hear stories about what other people go through and you know that, it's possible that you could be targeted like that for being who you are, and that's kind of concerning to know.
Why is that so hard to accept? Every individual person searches for their own life and their own feeling and follow that. And I think transgender is no different to anybody else. Transgender is not an illness, it's not a sickness, it's just a different feeling. And I believe you follow your feeling and your instinct, you go a long way.
The best thing for me about being able to transition was just being able to feel comfortable with myself and recognized from other people as how I saw myself from the inside.